that the more love that you're putting out toward the world around you, they will be drawn to that. And whatever message you have is going to be powerful. So, just like Christians used to run around with Bibles beating me in the head with legalism and all this stuff, I can do the same thing from this perspective. What do you mean you don't understand? Well, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, again, our intentions are the ones that we put out there, the freaking we put out there. And I just want to leave you with this phrase: the bodies God created are healed by the frequencies God created.
Oh, wow.
Amen. Yeah, that's good. Repeat.
The bodies that God created are healed by the frequencies that God created.
Love that.
Okay, that's fine. The bodies God created are healed by the frequencies that God created. And if that's all you can leave someone with in a conversation, that's the starting point. Do it with love. Did you have a question?
Why does that come up? Because, just to add on to that, because we hear about myisms and things like that also, and coming from that Christian perspective, a lot of people are like, what is this? Or past lives, or whatever. But when you look at epigenetics, you know, we talk about generational curses in the Bible. That's epigenetics.
Right. Yep.
That's how your body is storing those memories. So whether it's a past life or a myism or whatever you want to call it, it shows up.
Right.
So just to add that in there too.
Yeah.
Something that I like to try to do, and I feel like Jesus did that. He taught in parables, so he would take a profound truth and he would put it in something every day that people can understand. And so I taught little kids for years and years. So I try to do that with people. So one of the things I like to say is, imagine 50 years ago, say, or 100 years ago, and you needed to send a letter to somebody. Like it's not that long ago, it would be Pony Express, or by the ship, or whatever. But now, we can send an email to the other side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing the Pony Express anymore, you know? And it's not woo-woo. It's just that now,
It's
now,
understanding more.
right, and I don't have to understand exactly how that works, or I can see somebody on the other side of the world.
Right.
Imagine that 100 years ago. They would have been coming at you with torches,
Right.
you know, to be able to do
Oh,
that.
they are.
Because we don't understand that. We don't understand that. But people, when you say that, they'll stop and go, oh.
And also, first conversation is, you can say it however you want, but he said you're not going to know everything. You can't possibly know the depth of who and what I am. Stop trying. So when someone says to me, well, how do you know that? I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I could learn some tomorrow. But I know for a fact that I have not cornered the market on God. So here's some information, you know. And I want to talk a little bit, and this is interesting about sharing this device. I just listened to something the other day on a podcast about a parable. And the person explaining parables to me, to the podcast, and I don't have the scripture, I don't have it, but basically what they said was, and it was actually written in the Bible. The person, when someone needs to hear a parable, they are not yet ready to hear.
That's true.
In other words, dumbing something down. He spoke parables to people. Thousands of people. 5 of them may have got it. So a parable is introducing an idea to someone, but even scripturally it says parables are for those who do not have ears to hear, which allows us to know that there are those who are going to be divinely appointed to come into our presence. Whatever divine you put on that, come into our presence, hear and receive the truth. And we don't have to pussyfoot around cellular phone things. We don't have to convince. You know what I'm saying? I like the parable, but just know, be aware, you're drawing people to you that have faith.
And I think that's where you release the ones who will
Yes.
and the ones who won't.
Right.
And I think that's what Jesus
Right.
was. He was putting it there,
Right.
and the ones that will get it will, and the ones who won't.
Right. I was just amazed that actually in the Bible it said Because I'm like, oh, Jesus spoke in parables. I can do analogies all day long. Blah, blah, blah. Actually, it says that those who were not yet ready to hear had to hear parables.
Yep.
Which is kind of the same thing, but know that you're going to be divinely attracted to people you're supposed to be divinely attracted to.
And the ones that were ready to hear sought him out.
Yes.
He didn't like me. I want to like tie him down and
Yeah.
shove down their throat.
Yeah.
Why don't you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't do that.
Yeah.
And the ones that were ready found him.
And the other thing too is, and I'll just bring this out here for those in the Bible Belt. Well, Mormonism is bad, and isn't that up in Utah? I mean, literally, I heard this type of conversation.
Yeah.
Now, if you look back at Scripture, when the disciples ran up to Jesus and said, "Guess what he's doing? Guess what? He's casting out demons in your name, and he's not even one of us." And Jesus stopped that conversation cold and said, "If he is not against us, he is for us. Let him go." So I wanted to talk about the intention we know about Lord. You've looked in his eyes. You've met Kai and Shelby. The intention for Lauren was my little boy, who is perfect in my eyes, has challenges that I'm going to find a way to heal.
Mm.
And he took faith, and he took the impossible, and he jumped on that train. And I don't care if he goes to a Mormon temple or the local Baptist church. His intention, this is where we're at with this. So we can also walk around confidently knowing that the creator of this, or the one who leads this whole thing, it's pitiful in the Bible though. Well, you're this denomination, I can't be your. It's crazy, the divisiveness. It's just sickening.
Mhm.
I was right there though. I get it. The person who created this had the intention that was God's will, and that was to bring restoration and rejuvenation to people's bodies, minds, and spirits. That's what your go for is. You know, you've got what you need. And I think that's all. Oh, we had a question.
There's a poster out there that says some will, some won't, some do, some don't, so what?
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what?